Dogs, dogs, big dogs, small dogs, white dogs, black dogs, all kinds of dogs. So the question, who let the dogs out? It was the Magodo Phase 2 Dogs Hangout Day when residents who own dogs all came out to walk their dogs. It was such a fun-filled event that you could give it any dog-tagged name and be correct. Dogs Hangout, Dogs Pageant, Dogs Fair, Dogs Care Lectures, etc. Bumi, the first event official to speak, spoke about the importance of carrying a dog bag when walking your dog.
The whole idea of this is actually to enlighten our residents and friends on pets care. So we want to encourage Magodo residents and our friends to please, when you're walking your dog, please go around with what you call a dog bag. This is what you call a pull bag. Please get one if you can't afford this type, even a normal nylon bag, the small ones. Take it along so when your dog pulls on the road, please pick it up and put it in the trash can. I collapsed one day, I had an emergency, I hit my head on the floor and I passed out in my house. And I was the only one at home. It was my dog that saved me. He kept barking and barking and barking and barking and he stood by me, and then my neighbors knew that there was something wrong, that this dog doesn't bark this way. This one is our own, every other person's around, and that's how I was rescued and I was taken to the hospital. So your pet care is very, very important.
And on the part of the dogs, the usual aggression between dogs that are not familiar with each other was absent, as all the dogs seemed to have been prepped for the occasion. There was a sort of dog's red carpet where owners introduced their dogs and then tried a friendly command or two. During that, we saw active and compliant dogs like Lucy, friendly dogs, dogs that love barking loudly, restless, impatient dogs, sweet dogs, and the rest.
When I got her, I knew she was going to be very aggressive too. So I did everything possible to calm her down. Because I have children in my compound also.
That's it, Lucy. Sit. Lucy, sit.
Clap for Lucy. So much energy. Clap for Lucy. Put yours. Encourage them now. That's why they're not even happy.
How have you been able to tame, so let's say tame, or to make her more domestic?
Yeah, I think it's from Breeze that she's not aggressive. She's not aggressive at all.
She's now 4 years old. And she's a big baby. She likes to hang out in the house on her back. She likes being rocked. And she likes going for walks at 5 a.m. in the morning, so I have to get up and do the daddy thing. So she's very friendly. Even though she's big, she likes kids. She's made a lot of kids on our walks in the morning. She likes to get past the kids.
When we first got her, she didn't bark. She would never talk to anybody or anything. And when we got neighbors that were, I think, Rock Island, and they were always barking in the morning. And every morning now, she would go outside and she would bark, do competition, bark. And her barking is very loud. That's what she likes to do, just bark. But sometimes she can be friendly, it depends. Just sometimes. But she's around people like this, she's always calm because she's scared of people. So she's very calm.
My name is Nala. She's a Caucasian, and she actually likes water. She loves water a lot. Like, she loves water, and she's very impatient. And she just wants something very fast. Like, if she needs something right now, you just have to give her right now. And she's very fun. She's lovely. She's really lovely, and she's playful.
So Storm is actually a year old now. I got him at the age of 6 weeks old. While the Eskimo is 2 years plus. So for Storm, he's a very sweet dog. So whenever he's outside, he plays with anyone. And he's a very sweet dog and very trained dog. Likewise, Leo. So I guess I need to show a few things that I can do.
Yes,
Storm,
please.
sit.
Yay.
Storm, up. Good boy.
This is Max. He is a crossbreed American Eskimo and Samoyed. He is 2 years old, so next April will be 23. And his mom is here, also a crossbreed. And she just had puppies 3 weeks ago, 5 puppies.
Captain, shake me. Shake me.
Yay, clap for Captain. Put your hands together for Captain.
The high point of the event was the short lecture on dog care by veterinary doctor Bolaji.
If you have a reason for getting a dog, then you should be able to know what kind of dog you are looking out for. Some of the reasons for getting dog: for companion, for security. Some people get dogs just for business sake, right? So if you have a reason for getting your dog, it will propel you to knowing, okay, what kind of breed of dog should you get? Okay, there's some breed of dog, they are very airy. Some people after getting dogs, they will say, no, this dog before getting a dog, then you should know that some particular breed of dog, that time the hair is getting tangled and all of that. Taking care of dog, all right, there are some basic things that you need to know, before you go ahead and acquire a dog. One, feeding and management. It's very, very important. Feeding and management. It's very, very important. Okay, and there are different kind of food that you feed your dogs with. Okay, some breeds are voracious eater. They eat anything you give to them, to the extent that they even eat eba if you give them eba. All right, and some breeds of dog, they are very picky when it comes to food. They are very selective when it comes to food and all of that. All right, so you should know that then there are different types of food. There are wet food, there are dry food. Best food for your dog is actually all these dry food kibbles, because they are they are mixed. They've been prepared in such a way that there are different classes of food, prepared in one. Okay, there's the amount of carbohydrates, proteins, fat, and all of that, prepared together. All right, so it's actually the best kind of meal for your dog. There's dry food, there's wet food, and there's all of that. Then management, you need to know that as you humans, you go for your checkup probably on a monthly basis and all of that. The same thing applies to your pets. They also have lives, and their lives need to be taken as serious as possible. Their routine deworming, their vaccinations. In fact, vaccination, very, very important. Very, very, very important. They need to get their vaccines as at when due. Usually, for us to keep fit, what do we do? After we eat and do all of that, we also go out for exercise. We go to the gym and we do all of that. The same thing should be done for our dogs. They should be taken on a walk as much as possible, at least 3 times a week. So that if you're walking your dog, all right, always prevent them from picking on the floor as much as possible, because there are pathogens all around.
Followed by a question and answer session.
He has not eaten all day, and he's still playful, but he doesn't want to eat.
Well, different things can actually be responsible for that. One, it could be that your dog doesn't like the food that you're giving. Some dogs are very, very selective. I mentioned that earlier. It could be that your dog is very selective, doesn't want to eat the food you're giving. All right, that's one. Then two, it could be that your dog is having an infection. All right, your dog could be having an infection. And how will you know if your dog is having an infection? Of course, your dog has to be taken out for checkup.
The owner's mental state or psychological state affects the dog's well-being.
There's this school of thought that your dog is actually a typical representation of who you are or what you are. All right. So it actually goes a long way. Dogs, they are very, very smart, and they actually know how to. I don't know. They know what is going on actually.
Yes.
They understand what is going on. They might not be able to speak, but they actually understand what is going on sometimes. So, of course, if you're not happy as a person, of course, you don't expect your dog to be as very active and happy. Okay, I've seen cases whereby the owner was actually sick, very sick, very ill, and the dog didn't eat. The dog was just stood with the owner. All right. What the dog did was, if he wanted to pee, just went out. Then went out to poo and all of that.
How many times can they give birth, like in a year? And age that they should actually stop giving birth.
Before you start mating your female dogs, make sure they have at least passed their first and second heat. Their first and second heat. Okay, before you start mating them. And the reason is very simple, so that they can at least their system can get used to the whole pregnancy and all of those things. All right, we've had cases whereby people mated their dogs during their first heat and they had complications. Okay, complications that we have to do surgery and all of that. If your dog just gave birth and comes on the next heat, it won't be too wise, it won't be too cool for you to mate immediately after. All right, so please always skip. How do I understand? How do I put it now? Okay, if you mate your dog now and your dog comes on the next heat, don't mate. Wait till the third heat. Do you understand? Why? We need to rest their system too. All right, and of course, once your dog is getting to 5-6 years, please rest the dog.
My friend's dog doesn't come to him when we say so.
Why the dog doesn't come to you when they say so?
Okay. all right. Okay. Okay. The reason is very simple. Okay. Don't worry. Just keep calling the dog. The dog will get used to you. Okay.
Then there was the exciting Dogs Runway Walk, supported of course by each dog's owner.
Wow, this is nice. Oh, please, we need to be very fast. Yeah, we have Leslie walking down the Here&Now.
Hi, girl.
Go Leslie. Yay! Nice.
Work it. Let's go, Lisa.
How is Lisa? Lisa is.
Come back.
Are you the one walking more now, or Boda is?
Yeah.
Nice. Swag connection. Please, we have water. Oh God, they bear my name.
Majestic.
Yes.
It's like Zach does not you.
And I like the way I tell you.
Is this Leo?
Yes.
Where's Stacy and Coco? All right. We see you. Let's go, Snow. Yeah. Yes. Talk. Yes. Yeah.
The supporter of the event, Temitope Alade, spoke to us, expressing why she was particularly excited about the event.
I'm particularly excited about this, and that's why we came out to support, because we know that dog owners have a social life, dog owners can't walk naked, and so fashion is relevant.
Chapo.
It's not easy.
Not though.
It's not for the female category. Yeah, and the winner goes to Lucy.
Put your hands together for Lucy. Where's Lucy? Yeah,
prepared. Very active dog, very, very active.
Sunday, another supporter who paraded 2 dogs spoke to us, saying the event was first of its kind and very welcome. Ayomide, owner of winning dog Lucy, then spoke to us, happy that his dog won. And then Abiodun, owner of the impatient Caucasian dog, also expressed her excitement over the event. Finally, another dog owner, young Uche, rounded off the interviews.
It's the first time an event like this is coming up around an estate like this, Magodo. It's the first dog hangout show, and hopefully it won't be the last, and we hope to see something better. From what we can see, we see a lot of dogs, dog lovers coming around. Hopefully next year we get to see something better. Coco is Stacy's mother, and they are both Lassas. Yeah.
Are they friendly or?
They are very friendly. Although Stacy doesn't do well with other dogs, but Coco is very friendly, and she's good with humans. So
it's my first time coming here, doing this type of stuff with Lucy. Yeah. She's the queen.
So how do you feel about it?
I'm very excited about it. I'm happy because she's an amazing dog. She's very playful. That's really what I like her for. I'm even happy she's not even aggressive.
I feel great. I feel like this is something like I would like us to continue doing, and it was successful. Even we managed the daylights, and it's still fine. I'm grateful for that. Dogs normally they know how to sense when someone is scared, but when she notices that you have this confidence and you're not scared, she will be calm with you and she'll play with you.
Today's event was fun, fascinating. So I enjoyed it. Lisa, yeah.
How old is your dog?
She's 2 years old, and I feel it should be done more.
Once again, it was the Magodo Phase 2 Dogs Hangout Day, and Citymoods was there to cover it live.